All right. It is the middle of October. Holy cow. What, 3 weeks till the election, so all kinds of excitement. So welcome to week 42. Hope you guys are hedged up and position sizing correctly in this risk on month despite the excessive and irrational exuberance. So good times all around. So we'll look at our weekly highlights. We'll do a quick poll of what our group thinks the S&P is going to do for the week, and we'll compare that against the American Association of Individual Investors sentiment data and look at their weekly breakdowns. And then after that, we will take a look at our upcoming SVOG meeting this Saturday, and that is with Andrew Giovanni from the Option Pit crew out of Chicago. So we're big fans of both Andrew and our boy Mark Sebastian. And they've also written a couple of great books around the subject of being the one man the one man insurance selling machine, or the one man insurance company, TOMIC. All right. So yeah, shout out to the Option Pit team there. So let me drop the link. You guys want a quick breakdown of the agenda? And
You
shout
still
out.
hear an echo?
No, you're
You're
good
good
now.
now. You're good.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Ross. And then another event is the East Bay Options Group with Jonathan Massey is meeting up tonight online. Let me, what's the link again? East Bay Options Group meetup. Let me get that link to you guys. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, so that's tonight. Yeah, 5:30 to 8. So East Bay Options Group. And then we have a guest there that's joining us today as well. So welcome Adolfo. He is also part of Massey's CFA class. And we were busy last night reviewing their options presentations. So that was pretty cool to see everyone. And I forgot Adolfo's trade. It was they were
Was
long Amazon? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amazon for the next 2 weeks, yeah, trying to profit from the earnings
Yeah.
season.
Awesome. And are you looking to make a career change to be a CFA?
No, I am. Well, I may actually at some point go for the certification for studying, but at this point, I've been 25 years in operations. It's a little bit hard to change careers, but I will go for the knowledge because I may retire in a few or several years, and I want to, do full-time trading. So that's my intention, number one goal.
Oh, we fully support you with that. So definitely, yeah, having plan B income, as you age out of a career is definitely
Yeah.
wise. So most of us are engineers, and even among the engineers, we know that, after 40, you're really obsolete. So welcome. You're gonna find a good crowd of like-minded
Yeah.
folk.
And I passed the 40s a long time ago, so
Yeah.
I'm obsolete squared.
Yeah, no worries. And let me try to find I remember one gentleman, where's Terry Walters' website? Uh, do you have it by any chance, Kurt? Um, gosh, his story was good. So he was kind of
No.
finishing his career, and he mentioned that he wanted to self-study and get like a PhD in basic trading knowledge, and he really did that and mastered selling premium, doing a lot of covered calls and buy rights.
This isn't Terry Walters then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you recall what his website is?
I never knew he had one. So
Yeah, he did. And he had a couple of his um trading plans and spreadsheet things up there. Maybe it came down. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it later. Okay, but yeah, awesome. All right, cool. So yeah, so that's our Saturday meeting coming up, and then I got a couple idiots of the week for you guys to look at, and the titles were incredible. Like, how do I change the color from red to green? So we'll take a look at a variety of trades here, and of course we have a China trade, and the title itself also says a lot. Like, China, do something. Oh my gosh. And I'm happy to show you guys fallout from the mainland domestic crowd there. They are suicidal, and rightly so, but they totally walked into this trap and started sucking on the business end of a shotgun. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. So we'll go laugh at them and point fingers. Cool. And we'll look at, of course, our non-idiocy rules and our sort of semi-ironclad trading rules as a club. And we'll go over that. But then, yeah, we'll go to the core of our show with our index overview and looking at index rotation options and the VIX. And then we'll take a look at, oh, whoops, this is an old screenshot. Let me get rid of that. I'll take a look at next our Fear and Greed Index, courtesy of CNN's aggregator. And then we definitely will look at the Stock Traders Almanac and look at our 90-day forecast based on our historical data. And October, again, should be a diabolical month. And there's still 2+ weeks left. And we are just getting warmed up into earnings season. And it is crazy. Semiconductors, explosively down, explosively up. We still got Nvidia around the corner. And we got our mole, Alan Chen, at Supermicro trying to do intel and figure out what the hell's going on. But he's dark in the lab hooking up stuff. So yeah, we'll look at October stuff. We'll talk November, of course, and then election fireworks. We'll talk election year theatrics, and we'll take a look at December as well. And this Santa Claus rally is not really looking good. And we'll look at the data with consumer sentiment information. So. Yeah, we'll do our best with sector rotation data as well. But yeah, lots of big earnings already, and we'll take a look at ASML. And definitely, since we have a bunch of semiconductor engineers on the call, we'll love to get your guys' input as well. And then we'll talk retail and take a look at Walgreens. And Walgreens is complicated. It had explosive earnings upward. In fact, it gapped up big time. And the reason is shocking. It's because they're extremely more profitable because of widespread store closures. There was
Hmm.
so much theft that once they removed theft-ridden stores, they became profitable again.
Yeah.
Like, good for Walgreens, devastating for more urban metros. So, what's funny is like, look, there's no Walgreens near you, you need to move immediately. Like, you should like check your directions. And if just, if the nearest Walgreens is, over 5 miles away, you might be on the wrong side of town.
They're
Uh,
closing a whole bunch of them, they said. Just reading
Thousands,
about it.
thousands of
yeah,
Yeah.
stores. Yeah.
yeah, and
Thousands of them.
and I'm concerned about my college professor, my faculty advisor, because he's on the Alameda on near the HP or
Oh, on the island, yeah.
yeah, and right next to Santa Clara University, and that Walgreens closed, and it's such an
Wow.
eyesore because now the homeless just gather, outside the Whole Foods instead, and he lives right across the street, so I'm always worried about him. But yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, Walgreens. Yeah, that's your, prognosticator for real estate values. And oh yeah, there was a great meme the other day. It was like uh
I mean, not for nothing, CVS is also going to close, just not
yeah,
as many.
yeah. Um there's a
There's a
great
CVS that
Chicago
I
meme that
drive
says
by.
like gunshots help keep the rent low. Oh, don't get
There's
any
a
ideas, folks.
there's a CVS near me that they both block.
Yeah, no fun, no fun. And then in related news, the Japanese folks at 7-Eleven are sharing those same ideas, especially with the massive flash mobs that we're seeing up with teenagers under 18 in LA. So yeah, that's been rough. And then we'll take a look at the banking earnings. And obviously, there was a lot of carry trade mania with the rate cuts. So I didn't figure it out on day one of earnings, but for day two of earnings for banks, I decided to go a little bit heavier on the bullish bias. But yeah, good times there. And we'll take a look at Goldman as well. And bankers tend to not lose, as we've always talked about. And then we'll take a look at ASML's earnings and supposed insane demand issues. And it's a bit complicated, right, in this ecosystem. So you got the hardware manufacturing guys, in Holland at ASML looking at a devastated pipeline for forward-looking sales. And then you have TSM pumping out CPUs as fast as they can, and then NVIDIA hustling them and doing the design work. So the whole ecosystem is changing, and we'll see if insane demand is really going to hold up for NVIDIA earnings, which is the big question mark. And we'll take a look at NVIDIA's charts and technicals, of course. And then, since most of us are selling credit spreads, we'll take a look at the retail fish side with the Wall Street Bets crowd and see what our counterparty looks like. And then shifting up onto our normal domestic news and related sectors, we'll take a look at economic stuff, and we'll look at today's latest retail sales numbers. And definitely, it's been maybe a little bit overstated, to put it generously. And we do know it's an election year, so we'll look at that and a potentially conflicting point of view. And ironically, the voice of reason in today's world, shockingly, is Goldman Sachs. Like, what is the world coming to? And Goldman's talking about the working poor and how that's reflected in the pain in the self-repair market for automobiles. So we'll take a look at AutoZone stock and, of course, their cousin, O'Reilly, and some other folks. So that's a instant barometer to the working poor and the middle class. And as a former barista myself of Starbucks, we'll take a look at Starbucks's desperation. And we saw pumpkin spice latte season start up in August. Like, that's how down bad they are. So appealing to that Caucasian demographic, especially. It's white girl summer has ended. So, out come the UGG boots and leggings and pumpkin spice lattes galore. Yeah, and we'll take a look at Starbucks' technicals as well. And ironically, McDonald's is doing fairly well. If you look at their stock performance, their $5 value meal is bringing back a lot of customers, ironically. Cool. And then besides that, there's U.S. Manufacturing output data that's out, so we'll take a look at that. And then here's a good article on VIX skew and whatnot. So we'll take a look at this good breakdown. And this is a premium paywalled article, but basically, after 8 weeks of selling, it looks like hedge funds have capitulated and are now buying stocks at the fastest pace since 2021. So everyone going all in. And then to help sustain this, if you look at the central banking calendar, we know the ECB rate cut is just right around the corner. So uh, further upward and to the right, I guess. Yeah, so we'll take a look at that, and then we'll take a look more at index rotation ideas as we previously mentioned. And then we'll take a look at the barometer of overall tickers, and again, how it's a lot of the profitability is really clustered around the Mag 7 and other mega cap companies. And we'll take a look at the equal weighted S&P index, just as a comparison against our very, I guess, NVIDIA-centric S&P at the moment. Cool. And then the Black Swan list hasn't changed just yet since last week, but the theaters of war have. And I added, let's see, the potential update here with the veiled threat of the potential backlash against Iran and what 100 U.S. Anti-missile boys have been sent to Israel already. So things are getting a little crazy. And if we have time, I can show you guys the latest conscription videos of just young guys being dragged into vans. And there's just not a lot of cannon fodder left to throw into the Russian onslaught and the artillery. Um, God, there's a lot of painful ways to die. I think bombs exploding next to you from artillery shells would be pretty bad. And if you get hit or you're not close enough to the blast radius, you don't die right away. That just sounds bad. Okay, but yeah, I'll take a look at that. And then Italy striking back a little bit. So we'll see if anyone else in NATO pushes back, but the Italians are at least, interesting enough. Cool. And then shifting to banksters, currencies, IOUs, and crypto news. Pocahontas is still big against Bitcoin, and it's just interesting to see this older branch of the DNC kind of just hold out. And maybe it's a New England thing, I don't know. But then again, why is Elizabeth even relevant? How can you be that fake, get caught for it, and still be a sitting senator? Uh,
The Democrats are in a desperate throw right now. They're trying anything they can do.
yeah, absolutely. And what you call it? Michelle Obama is backing up away from Kamala, citing security risks. It's just, oh, everyone realizes Kamala is going to be sacrificed. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's dive for political cover. Good times. And but yeah, we'll take a look at ECB rate cuts and then how we can trade that. And yep. And then pivoting to domestic news, we will definitely take a look at the latest betting analytics for this presidency and see what the winning bet is at the moment. And we've been saving our screenshots for the last several weeks. We'll take a look at this week's comparison. And then, first article in domestic news is the return of mass mandates to many counties in the Bay Area. And mass mandates means lockdowns. And lockdowns means we gotta buy Domino stock, guys. That was the crown jewel of the 2020 trading season. That was half the year into our weekly hosting series here. So we gotta go back to the basics. And then I should probably resurrect my old COVID document, if you guys remember that. Let's see if I can find it. What did I call it?
It
Uh,
was only for healthcare facilities. Let's not over.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, well, it's not quite a full lockdown yet, but yeah, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Why are they mandating masks again in California?
Well, no. So
It's
it's
just for the
healthcare.
medical community right now.
So you can't go in a doctor's office or hospital or even stand
Yeah.
out front without somebody complaining.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it will always start with the medical providers or medical doctors and all that, and then it will go to the public after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And
I took my mom to just a checkup, and I dropped her off, went to go get parking, and I see when I came back, she was still standing outside, and they wouldn't let her in. This is at
Really?
UCSF. Yeah, this is at UCSF. And
But
I always, I have a bag of them in the car because I have an emergency kit, and I was just like, here, just take one. I put one on just to get in and get the shit over with. I'm not going to sit there and argue with the guy who makes $15 an hour. It's not his fault. So we just got, but yeah, basically everybody in there was wearing a mask.
right, but why? Are they
No
worried about
idea. I don't know.
COVID? What's going
What
on?
what whatever new lie they're going to make up.
Exactly. That's just
Disease
that's
X.
stupid.
Yeah, there's lots of things floating around, but nothing serious yet. But yeah,
Oh,
we'll take a look. We'll take a look.
oh my goodness.
And then more fun domestic news. We'll take a look at some crime stats. And there's been an interesting revision from the FBI boys, so we'll take a look at that. And pivoting down to Chicago, we'll take a look at Chirac. And I love this image. I don't know who made it, but it is beautiful. So it's the Chicago skyline on the profile and contours of an Armor Light rifle. So beautiful. And it's a Cool magazine. Excellent. Fancy pants. And then we'll talk about our favorite Venezuelan prison gang. And it seems like really their whole crew got the green light all across the Midwest and United States. So good times here. So we'll take a look at that. And wow, it's exciting times. Safety's off, if you catch my drift. And I saw a fun related article about how 73% of Mexicans own a dog. I didn't know it was this high. And from breeding Cola and his dad, um, over half of the inquiries for in heat females are from the Central Valley, and they're all Latino. It's shocking. Like it's a big business among them.
Why
Uh,
is that? Why?
like here's the article. They're breeding everything. Poodles, cane corsos, anything that's popular. Like it's 10 to 20,000 dollars in cash for a litter of 10, if you think about it. It's a
Oh,
lot of
as
money.
business, for
It's a lot.
business.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, you know, Yeah.
Not because they love dogs, but they're doing it for business.
They're a little bit more family centric than, say, the black community, relatively speaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and they're
Maybe
more agriculturally uh inlined or from that background compared to, say, like blacks in the urban ghetto. Like they don't have any ties to agriculture anymore. Sorry, Frost, you were saying?
no, I'm just gonna make a stupid racist joke. It's fine.
Oh, I don't know of any brown racist jokes.
No, it wasn't about the Latino. I was just gonna say maybe they're trying to protect themselves against the Haitian invasion.
Give them the dogs to eat instead.
Well, it'll slow them down when they're hopping the fences.
Yeah. Okay, take my dog.
uh and then black people really hate dogs or they're scared of them for a lot of reasons. And uh and they also like black people love cola because there's alignment there, bad hair and all. So yeah. Okay, now that we're not being racist anymore, uh let's go back to what we've talked about before of demographics, which are the three M's, right? So the folks that breed in the domestic United States are Mexicans, Mormons, and Muslims. And that's obviously reflected in alcohol consumption. And that's why we've seen in our alcohol portfolios, a lot of brands migrate towards tequila. And this is big, especially between the mafioso Jersey brothers at the Constellation folks, who've been buying up everything. So, and I've always been noticing that their tequila component has been blowing up in the last 10 years. And who else is in this? Even Hollywood, right? George Clooney and his crew. They've been big into tequila like 20 years ago, right?
Right.
Um,
But
so
why? Why? Why
well,
tequila?
it's because the Mexican American population is dominant and inevitable for its growth in the United States. And then
The largest non-white group in America is Latin, and
Right,
Latin people and Hispanics, they enjoy tequila.
right.
right,
And
right,
now they're getting muscled out by the Central Americans that are not, Mexicans, and they're getting muscled out by the South Americans and then the North Africans. It is quite the Mexican standoff. That's so rough to think, but yeah.
Let's not forget, Warren, after the debacle with Bud Light, what beer quickly became the number one selling beer in the country?
Modelo right there. Yeah. So yeah, it's an opportunity and chaos is the ladder. So yeah. Um, I
Everybody
get,
likes a margarita. You don't
mm,
have to be afraid of alcohol to love a margarita.
hmm,
That's true. Yeah.
They overwhelm each other.
And when I was just in Florida, and those mojitos were freaking everywhere, dude.
hmm.
oh, Faraz, you got to give us a quick rundown of your Florida trip and hurricane disaster relief and FEMA and your family.
Okay, well, thankfully everybody is okay. Nobody got killed. People got hurt, but nobody got killed. But the financial devastation is not even close to what they're telling you on MSM. It's a complete shit show. Now we were based in Fort Lauderdale, which is a 4 hour drive from Tampa. And over there it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's on the western side of the state, so it didn't really get hit that bad. Um, but when you're driving up, you can see the devastation because Florida is really flat. So you could see there's boats, bodies. I mean, it's a complete disaster. My uncle's house lost the roof, was completely gone. Everybody lost their cars. The first floors on everybody's houses are gone. Um, Pets are pretty much all wiped away. Anything that was not 20 feet or higher was completely decimated, covered in water. And FEMA sucks. They're not helping at all. You have to fill out this freaking application, and you have to go drop it off in person with an ID, because they're like, oh, people might try to get more than one check. And it's a fucking shit show. And basically, we just went down there to help move the elderly into places and give financial support. and stuff like that. And they really need help down there. It's really bad. I mean, they got hit twice. Helena first, and then they barely even started to recover before your boy Millie showed up and basically took everything else away. Insurance companies are trying to get out of it, as always, and they're starting to cancel policies. It's real bad. It wasn't fun trip by any means, except for when we went to Miami the night before we left to try to go and have a little smile before we get on the plane and go back to work. So that's the news from over there. It's worse than they're telling you by a lot.
Was there an issue with crowding out with alternative lodging and so forth?
There's
Airports.
no lodging. So the basically the mandate was you have to leave. You have to be within 50 miles, or I'm sorry, you have to be within 15. You have to leave 15 miles outside of the main path of the storm. So you're talking about, so Tampa, you couldn't be in Tampa, you couldn't be in Fort Myers, you couldn't be in a lot of places, and everybody left at the same time because they came telling you got to leave your house.
Hmm.
Lodging was impossible. A lot of people just slept on the side of the road in their cars if they couldn't get anywhere. The airports were a freaking mess for anybody leaving because you couldn't leave from Orlando. You had to go miles north or miles south. You couldn't leave from any airport that was in the path of the storm. And as far as the lodging and the food, there's nothing. People were bringing stuff in. I saw some people bringing in U-Haul trucks full of food that they buy from Costco and give food out to the people. But you know what? I didn't see anywhere. I didn't see any kind of federal help. We saw state people. We saw local police, local fire, and regular citizens, just everybody helping each other out. As far as FEMA, the only time we saw them was when we had to take our elderly people over there so they can fill out the forms and stuff. But they weren't even really doing anything there. They had free water, big fucking wow. But other than that, they weren't offering any other kind of services. Not really, not when we were there. So I don't know what they're talking about on TV. You had to qualify for a tent. You had to qualify for all this other stuff. You have to qualify. Dude, here's my address. I live here. My house is gone. Give me a tent so I don't have to sleep in my truck. Because it's a million degrees. You can't sleep with the AC running all night. And so you try to go and you sleep outside in a tent, but you got to qualify for a tent because Home Depot's closed and or it's sold out of everything. Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, all of them. And they all jacked up their prices too. I just want everybody to know that all the local superstores jacked up their prices while all the lower people didn't. So like all the mom and pop shops, they either lowered their prices or were giving stuff away. But Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, everybody, they jacked up prices and they have a no return policy during any kind of disaster. So if
Hmm.
you go and you buy a bunch of lumber and you don't need it, too bad, it's yours now.
Hmm.
So corporations were not a help at all.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you for us. Glad
Yep.
everyone's safe. And this is a wake-up call for us in California because we're in an earthquake zone. And as we talked about before, insurance is a tectonic plate, literally, that you have to watch out for. And the Japanese insurance firm for in the property and casualty game, we've talked about this a couple times, is they've dropped coverage for California homeowners. And again, this is you gotta look behind the veil, and the Japanese have the largest cluster of seismic geologists on the planet. Japan has the most earthquakes of all the industrialized nations. Like they
Yep.
know their shit. So
Hmm.
if their actuaries and accountants and scientists are telling management to drop California, it's for a reason. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Because we're due for a big one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Any
Yeah,
whenever. Who knows?
yeah. So yeah, and then let me drop this link in the chat. So here's all the Zillow listings that are new. I set the
Wow.
filter for 14 days old, and there's no control group to look up, but uh you know, these are new desperate sellers are just looking to unload, and I hope people, do their due diligence, and I'm sure there's fair deals here, but you gotta think most of it's probably washed out and whatever. But yeah, it's just wild.
Real
Um,
quick, I do want to say I do got to give credit where it's due, and every single airline was 100% accommodating for anybody coming in or leaving. If you already had booked a ticket and it was during that time, you could change for free. You could change without a change fee, and you could also change, and they will cover the cost if it costs more. So that happened. And I'm talking about every single airline because, as you know, Warren, I was supposed to come at night, but we were able to get on an earlier flight that cost $230 more. And American Airlines, they said it's fine. They didn't charge us for the change or for the price difference. So give
Mhm.
credit where it's due. They did come through for people.
oh,
Nice.
awesome. Spirit is figuring out if they were part of that or not. Yeah.
I will never get on Spirit. I'd rather walk.
Yeah. The, the the total cost of ownership is not reflected in the low fare on your screen.
They're going bankrupt.
But they're still in the air. So you got to think like, are maintenance crews doing their ABC levels of maintenance at the right intervals? It's like, who knows? Uh, okay, and then besides tequila, we got to also talk about Florida oranges. And, shout out to Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. So I guess I'm not, thinking orange juice when I'm looking at hurricanes, but were you trading orange juice futures by any chance for us?
We are monitoring orange juice futures, yes. And
Okay.
for what it's worth, that's the movie that got me started on this whole trek many,
Hell
many
yeah.
years ago.
That's right. Dave, any comments on orange juice?
No,
No. Okay.
I like trading places.
Yeah, okay. Excellent.
It's too early to tell because we don't know what like there's nothing tradable now. You know what I'm saying? It just happened. So the crop reports are the most important thing when it comes to orange juice futures. We normally don't trade orange juice, but like we like to take advantage of stuff no matter how horrible, and we'll wait and see what effects this has later. I don't know how big of an impact it's going to make, but we'll see. But I'll keep you guys posted definitely.
OJ is considered hard. I
Hmm.
mean, just so you
Hard
know.
to trade? Is it
It's
hard
Okay.
to
like,
trade?
yeah, I mean, it's the liquidity is kind of poor and it's not really predictable.
Yeah, he's not wrong. But when major things happen, that there's a chance,
Right, right.
But they always get hit, so I don't know. And it wasn't really the orange side that got hit. So it's more of like going to be what happens with the overall weather and pattern. Really, what really messes Florida up, believe it or not, is if the temperature ever gets below 55 for a couple of days.
Mhm.
That really messes
Mm.
everything up because they have to run out and cover their whole fields with plastic and stuff to save from frostbite for all the plants because they don't survive 55. So
Hmm.
that's if they ever get like a 2 or 3 day cold snap, as they would call it,
Hmm.
Mhm.
that's what's going to matter most because if they don't get out in time to cover everything in their little plastic teepees and tents to protect from frost, they're going to lose a lot of their crops.
Mhm.
55 or 45?
No, it does never gets to 45. It gets around 50 to 55 will damage a lot of their crops out there just because the soil and all that. That's what they tell me. I'm no expert on it. This is just what our
Mhm.
guys tell us about Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not
So in
100% sure.
Fresno, where they have oranges, it was they can't freeze. So they put out these little burning sticky things. Um,
Like the tiki torch?
yeah, like tiki torches, all through the
Oh,
field.
interesting.
It was kind of weird. Of course, I'm
Interesting.
old, much before people are afraid of smoke.
Hmm.
Do we believe that this hurricane is a weather control or manipulation from the government?
The short answer is yes.
Mhm.
LBJ on film has talked about this in 1962. There's patents, there's laws on this that are multi-decade old. This is the least controversial conspiracy theory.
Right.
Um, there's way funner, sexier shit than this.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I mean that's about the scope of this meeting, but you can do your research into HARP technology and the resonance techniques that they use to create hot spots and cold spots. But yeah, it's okay. We're not talking about it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, here's our article on prep, and again, it applies to us for earthquake prep here and civil unrest.
Yeah.
And the George Floyd riots are still vivid in my head because
Yep.
I'm out there in armor with, buckshot and slugs ready to mow down people in front of Bayfair. Like my friends living from that Target, like it was on fire. Uh, so yeah, crazy things have are afoot and can be afoot again.
Hey,
Okay.
Warren, can you drop that article,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
emergency
It's
one?
here too. Yeah, you can just yeah, here. I'll paste into chat. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Cool. And then since Halloween's coming up, we'll take a look at the spending predictions, and it's lower than past Halloweens for obvious reasons. But yeah, we'll take a look at that. And this is also leading up to maybe showing signs of weakness in the Santa Claus rally. So November and December might be a lot weaker than we think. Cool. And then we'll take a look at Boeing's desperate plea for liquidity. And I had to look this up. I've never heard of this before. Does anyone know what a shelf registration is? It's a form of listing or selling equity without a prospectus.
Hmm.
Uh, so there's no lawyers, there's less accountants involved. Um, but yeah, I've never heard of this until this happened. Does anyone have any information or
No.
uh, about this? Okay, no worries. We've seen all kinds of freaky things, right? Like Hertz had the first bankruptcy IPO, and here's Boeing doing some weird shady thing. So yeah, desperate cries for cash. And the labor union issue is still ongoing. So yeah, this is kind of tough. And it was interesting to see among the presentations an interesting Boeing play yesterday. So yeah. Okay, cool. And then I don't really have a lot of real estate news this week, so we'll skip that. But lots of tech news. Holy cow. We got to talk a couple things. We'll talk Uber for a second.
Oh,
And this is a little simpler than it than it looks. The current CEO is the ex-CEO of Expedia. Of
Mhm.
course, the two will be linked. Hello. So like, okay. Next item. All right.
Mhm.
TSMC has insane AI demand. So at this level, they're getting big business from like XAI and a lot of folks. But up further up the value chain or further below, um, ASML is not having great hardware sales for the foundries. So is this the last great earnings quarter for NVIDIA and TSM? Maybe, who knows? But we'll take a look at that. And then, as a further external catalyst risk, there's still the White House and Biden. If he slaps another AI chip limitation, that could impact some things. So, gosh, it's anyone's ball game here. And I can imagine, like, similar to how folks are chasing FOMO, like with the Chinese crowd chasing, this latest bull rush. I imagine a lot of folks would do that for Nvidia, and people are desperate, right? And it's, football season and everything else going on. People want to wager money and win big. So, um, yeah, if anything, yeah, with Nvidia's upcoming earnings, who knows what's happening? Cool. And then we got to take a look at XAI's latest deployments, and Jansen is kind of blown away at Elon's implementation speed, and yeah, all kinds of praise. I think credit belongs to the unsung heroes slaving away for Elon, and less so credit for Elon himself. But yeah. And then we want to talk about his robotaxi unveiling, and it was kind of a fugazi. And I shared this on Discord, but there's someone made a website, or did I talk about this already? I don't recall, but someone made a website of the promises for full self-driving and has sources. And this person has tracked the moving goalpost and just gave up at 2022. But if you add in the unveil from October the 10th, It's still not here. It's just bizarre. Like I don't know why people are celebrating this. It's yeah. Cool. But we've talked about this before, but yeah, it seems to be making serious headway now. Many Mag 7 firms are now building small nuclear reactors in the East Coast. So it's going to be outside of Langley, to power a lot of alphabet agencies and um, to run VA contracts and everything else in between. So yeah, this is a little scary to imagine like tech bros with access to nuclear fuel. Like, yeah, nothing wrong could possibly happen with that. Oh my God. So yeah, we'll look at Amazon and Google and how we can trade that. So yeah, CCJ and other tickers will be potentially in play. And then we'll talk space and rockets and constellations for a second and take a look at potential plays there and the market ship expanding. And you guys have been following SpaceX. There was a successful recapture of a super heavy booster, and that was pretty cool. I have a lot of Elon hate, rightly so, but that was pretty cool. And if you guys ever played like Lunar Lander or any of the original games, this is amazing and difficult to do, obviously. But then again, SpaceX is not what it seems. It's also its own Fugazi. And you know what? The handful of us could probably do what SpaceX does with less headache and funding. Um, because the way it works is SpaceX has an infinite well of money to spend from all of its DoD contracts. So, if I can throw money and it doesn't matter how many rockets explode, you'll eventually something will not blow up. So, it's not like Tesla where it's actual money at stake, but SpaceX is this is DoD spending. This is a front for the DoD is really what it is. It's a reboot of NASA.
But you have credit. I mean,
Uh,
it's like having a source of income. It says I can pay off my loans, so it allows them to borrow money very cheaply
Mhm.
Right, right.
because it's a sustainable income source. They can say, oh, well, we put up this many satellites and this is how much we make. And nobody's going to change that more than 50%.
Yeah, fair point. Cool. And then in other tech news, we haven't talked about Apple in a while, but we'll see with the latest analytics with Apple Vision Pro. So yeah. All right. And then pivoting to labor news, take a look at the latest in white collar layoff data. And since it is Thursday, we have jobless claims. We'll take a look at that. And pivoting to international news, we got some updates from the Eurozone. So take a look at Germans who love money more than anything. So that's fun. And then we'll see potentially an expansion of the Middle East issues heading into the Balkanized Caucasus region. And that could set off a different cascade of events. So, yeah, then you're getting awfully close to another end of NATO there. Fun stuff. And as a precursor for the global economic slowdown, we'll take a look at the luxury goods market with the Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy Group and a lot of other related firms downstream from that. But yeah, we'll take a look at this on the French side first. And then in German news, um, pro-Sharia law protests are becoming a regular thing there. And gosh, the siege of Vienna, wasn't that long ago, only 400 years ago, but seems like we might have to go old school at some point and invite the Polish Hussars to come back. Or the Germans will be bred out of existence. Something's going to have to give.
Well, and then they call everybody a hateful right wing. It's all the whole thing's crazy. If you lived there, you'd be like all this
I,
crazy shit.
I've been there. I've
And
been there.
70%
I
of the
speak German.
population
Yeah, I know
owes
exactly
the
what you're talking about.
loves to Muslims.
Uh, I have seen this firsthand. So yeah, it's real.
There's lots of countries. I mean,
Just, just, just,
the United States is there.
just I mean, just go to
The
London.
top border
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. London's crazy by itself, but yeah. But yeah, Berlin, is freezing the school budget to make more money for migrant housing. Like it's just population replacement at a wholesale level. It's crazy. And then we haven't talked about India in a while, and we'll take a look at. Oh yeah, we'll take a break here and also look at the Nifty 50 and check out how their stock exchange composite is doing. But yeah, it seems like Punjabi and um, uh, Indian relations are not doing well. So we'll take a look at that. So this is concerning like northwestern India. It's a different ethnicity than or religiously for sure at least. But yeah, we'll take a look at that. And then looks like Modi wants to continue the grift here with an expansion in green technology for India. Um, so yeah, this is kind of a repeat of like Chinese stuff as well, where Beijing really likes to support state-owned industries because they're supporting their own their own cluster of oligarchs. And authoritarian countries really like that top-down, trickle-down economic stuff. All right, good times there. Shifting to oil news, we'll take a look at the latest of crude, and yeah, still hovering above 70. And we'll take a look at latest in production figures. And desperate to make their own way, it looks like African nations want to make their own energy bank since European powers are a little bit reluctant to help them get developed there. We just want the raw goods, and we don't want the refining and processing to be done there. And that I guess related to the sort of the curse of black gold and the sort of what's the technical term? The yield co approach is complicated and not as great as it seems. And then, gosh, for any of our sci-fi fans, like this is literally Dune Economics 101 right here with where the spice must flow for international and intergalactic transport. Okay, good stuff there. But yeah, we'll also look at the Euro side there with cheap Russian gas flows. And again, shout out to the Russians too for at least fulfilling their contracts to their sworn mortal enemies. And it speaks to them as a business person that they still honor their contracts and they're a reliable supplier. And when you're doing that when you're doing business in the energy world, that reputation and deliverability is a big deal. So, as a commodity fan, I do respect that. Cool, fun stuff there. And the IEA has interesting projections on a sizable surplus, mainly due to a weakening of demand in China, and that's not good for China at all. So, yeah. And then shifting to precious metals news, well, we'll take a look at the latest figures with the gold market, and I got some good TA for you guys to check out. And then we got some fun, interesting blurbs on silver. And just a quick point of interest on silver. Silver is the only sort of niche asset class that is still trading at barely half its 1981 peak. And just, name what other asset class in 2024 is trading, at 50%, 60% its peak from 40 years ago. There's nothing on the world. Maybe
Or
uranium's the
the other
closest.
way to look at that is look how efficient they were at scamming the market way back then.
Ah, there you go. There you
Right, it
go.
was all the
Yeah,
manipulation.
because that was a big deal. They gamed the market hard on that one.
Yeah. So
And
it's really not its own natural
right.
rise in the price. It's the
It
manipulation.
it's not free floating by any means.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So,
And yeah. And Lehman Brothers was in charge of that in the 80s. And that's why when
right.
they went belly up, their books got picked up by JP Morgan. And that's why, yeah, the GATA lawsuits are against JP Morgan these days. Yeah. Okay, good stuff there. So yeah, we'll take a look at that. And then again, lots of fun China news. So we'll take a look at the latest potentials, continued stimulus there. We'll take a look at the currency exchange rate and the Shanghai Composite. and Trump had I forgot which town hall meeting, I think, but he was talking about tariffs and how that's like one of his favorite words, or it's the most beautiful word in the dictionary. And um, shout out to Larry for passing me Larry Lighthizer book on U.S. trade relations. And as a free market guy, I'm not thrilled with tariffs, but when you're fighting someone who's doing economic dumping, with state-sponsored entities, that's not fair trade at all. That's a different beast. So to contain China, I think it is applicable to fight back with tariffs. In other situations, I think it's not a win-win, but dealing with China and other assholes, I think it's fully warranted.
So, can somebody put the name of that book someplace?
Oh yeah,
I want to run like AI or something on it.
I'll do it right here. Lighthizer, what's it called? Robert Lighthizer. His book is called here. Here we go. Yeah, no trade is free. Here we go. It's a fun book. I really liked it. I'm almost done. I'm
So,
two-thirds in.
there's a bunch of people doing deep dives on that, and the, the takeaway is I consider myself smart. The smart people are saying, it's a tax to tariff plastic, sandwich bags that come from China if we don't make plastic bags. So, I mean, if you want to hurt China, then you can push people into alternate markets, but that's trade war. But it's not helping the American people. I mean, there's huge numbers of products. If all your T-shirts come from China and we don't make T-shirts in America, then why are you adding 50% tax to T-shirts?
Fair,
It's
more than
not
fair, more than
benefiting
fair.
the
Yeah, yeah.
American people.
Right.
This is more in a context of like, $10,000 electric cars that are pieces of shit from BYD. Like this is what that's for. And then on a related note, we've seen China do that with solar panels and now their big play is lithium. So, yeah.
The $10,000 car is a great idea, though.
If
I
it
love it.
works,
I
if
mean,
it
in
works.
Asia, they have those $10,000 pickup trucks. I want
Right,
three of those.
right.
I give them to
For
all my family.
for the little ice ones, yeah. But for
Yeah.
EV, absolutely not.
Dude, those Chinese cars are blowing up when they're just sitting there. They just explode. The
Yeah,
battery
I don't need that.
explodes.
There's the little trucks. They're kind of like the old Toyotas from the 80s.
Yeah, you
It
in
costs
Chinese,
$7,000, 69.95,
yeah, yeah,
and you
in
get this truck, and they're still on the road.
they're
Like
in
one out of 10 of them are still on the road.
I'm too big for that. I need a big old truck.
Okay, well, you and your big old truck that cost $80,000 this year, uh, versus the idea of having just a utility truck that sits in your driveway most of the time. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, like the mini trucks and the
yeah,
minivans.
like
I don't, yeah,
without all the nice paint.
yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, my truck is like 16 years old, and I bought it in 2008 at the height of the crash. So I walked out for like 25 G's. I'd never buy an $80,000 truck. I'm just talking about size. I can't fit in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
those little
I
cars.
think, I
I would
think
never buy an $80,000 truck. No, that's no. I'm a
uh,
finance dude. We don't buy $80,000 trucks.
We understand depreciation and amortization
the
here.
other one that was really cool was the Mercedes vans at one point were selling for $30,000. It was the basic van, but those are really cool vans.
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
they
van
don't,
life is picking
the
up in a big
sprinters, I
way.
think they're called.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I might buy a lotto one day though.
The utility trucks, utility vehicles are cool. I don't
There,
want fancy.
there's a wood-fired lotto. Have you seen this for us?
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
awesome
so
on
funny.
YouTube.
It's so funny.
And there's not a shortage of lumber, so it's awesome. Let me just drop the link for you guys. Where is it? Wood-fired lotto. Did I spell it wrong? Wood fire Russian car.
Oh, yeah.
Wood fire, wood fire, wood fire. Oh
Yeah.
no, this is on fire. Different. It's on YouTube. It's a steam powered boiler in the car, basically, inspired with
No,
a.
actually, it's wood gas.
Is
You
it
heat
wood
up.
gas? There's
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's a couple ways to build it out, but
Well,
yeah, yeah.
no, the right way to do it is you heat up the wood and the vapors that are flammable come off, and it's called wood gas.
Wood gas. Okay, cool. And then we've definitely got to talk sex in Taiwan and South Korea, and the sex isn't going anywhere. So yeah, they're not producing babies, and the in Shanghai is worse. The Shanghai fertility rate now is 0.7, so it's a nightmare for the Asian community. Yeah, don't worry, Warren's gonna do his best, so it's okay. All right, and then we'll take a look at potential hints of Chinese QE. I don't know if it's going to do anything. They kind of already they blew their load, so to speak, already. I don't know if this is going to do much. And the international community understands that this is just a bailout for the aristocrats. That's it.
But
Who wants to be left holding the bag for their asses?
you say that, but then America did QE for what, like 11 years?
But we're special. It's
Yeah,
different.
that was just criminal.
I mean, we'll do as I say, not as I, blah, 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 blah. It's
Yeah.
okay. And we have lots of guns on international bases all across the world just for this purpose. And until China has 900 plus bases internationally, they can shut the hell up.
Well, no, so I expect
Yeah.
China to QE. I don't see any.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but to what extent? And the main goal is they're going to
Down
try to save.
50% to their M1, F2. I mean,
50%.
literally, I think they're going to print 50% more money.
Then it'll be mass graves that much sooner.
Okay.
We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, in there, in we'll take a look at that, and yeah, we gotta talk Chinese tide or Taiwanese tides in the Taiwan Strait here. So for a land invasion, again, it can only be done in March and October, and the October window is closing rapidly. And as we saw last week, um, there's been maneuvering around the whole island just to showcase a potential blockade protocol. So yeah, we'll see if Beijing is desperate enough to make this ploy. It's possible. There is immense civil unrest, and it's in Beijing and Shanghai. It's not in just the provinces anymore. And the bank runs have become devastating, and people just cannot pull cash out of the banking system. There's fraud. There's just all out limitations. And yeah, you just get harassed. And then if you keep pushing, and if you don't have connections, then the police get involved. But yeah, let's
The
take a look.
recent move from Chinese banks has been if they even have a hinky feeling that you used any money you borrowed from them to play the
Oh,
stock
for
market, they
stocks. Yeah.
immediately call it in.
Yeah, yeah. So it is decimation for the middle class and working class in China. Like I can't even explain the misery. And like I talked to my friends, and unfortunately, Tola, 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 it's okay. Unfortunately for my friends, most of them are like upper class and well-to-do. So I have to dig for like people who are, living, hand to mouth and whatnot. But it's not great. But yeah, we'll take a look at that, of course. And then on the US side of things, there's some potential espionage trying to happen. And it's interesting that again, Michigan is popping up. And for me, when I hear Michigan, I just think of Dearborn and the Omar clan and all the other North Africans there. It's to me, that's a powder keg, kind of like the Balkans back in the day. That, with the right trigger, you could unleash a very multi-ethnic cluster bomb of insanity. So yeah, crazy. And in other Chinese news, we talked about Indonesia last week, and this is impressive. But yes, Indonesian leadership is looking to block Temu in, in their efforts to protect small and medium-sized businesses there against Chinese dumping. So the world's reacting to this Chinese economic imperialism, and it's backfiring like there's no tomorrow. And as foreign direct investment leaves China's shores, this this just doesn't speak well for China at all. And you guys laugh, but seriously, mass graves, uh, really, really. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, so yeah, that's the highlight overview. It's 11:08. Holy cow! Let's go back to the top. Questions, comments?
No,
Okay,
sounds good.
awesome. Let's start with our poll. I would love to know where you think the market will go by next Thursday. And if you want to vote on your screen, we'll take your sentiment as bullish, sideways, or bearish. And while you guys are doing that, I will pull up here the American Association of Individual Investors, and here's our week-to-week comparison. And it looks like as an aggregate, we're a little bit less bullish than last week. And is there a reason for that? Is anything? Hurricane, maybe. Maybe these are Tampa Bay folks. Holy cow.
Hey,
All right.
I've got one thought. You have all these sections, and we go over them every time. It might be interesting to take a poll of which sections people love the most.
Oh, excellent.
You
Thank
might be
you.
able to prune one third off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is just my stuff that's evolved. No one's complained, no one said much. So, but
Idiots
yeah.
of the week is my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, you have this. I'm just going to use this one. This
Yeah.
section is not really all that interesting to me, and we spend 20 minutes on it every week.
Oh, not 20. Okay,
I'm
fair,
going to
fair.
shut up. It's just a thought.
Okay, fair point. Fair point. Cool. All right. Let me just write that down though. Trim or poll report. Okay. So here's the results. For our group, 17% bullish, 67% sideways, and 17% bearish. So yeah, mostly a sideways crowd for this week. Okay, excellent. Oh, and before we get into Idiot of the Week, I wanted to see if there was a possibility of moving our Trader Talk session away from the Thursday time slot. A couple of folks chimed in, and yeah, let's see. It's hard for the folks that are working. Thursdays are tough. What else is it a problem? It's also hectic, and it's a good trading day. And at least for me, I would like to maybe day trade Thursdays again. But potentially we could also move this to after market hours. I know it's fun to be live, but
Oh,
uh,
aftermarket not good.
yeah, because you have to go to work at 2, right?
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
work starts at 2, Wani?
yeah. I go in at 2. So the
Okay.
morning time is the best.
And
What?
you can't
Why? Go ahead.
and you can't trade at work, right? Is the office open for you? I mean, you're the boss there, but I think you don't want to be there during the
No, no.
yeah, okay. You're probably sick of being there when you're not paid to be. Okay, fair point.
So an alternative might be that you have alternate times that people can get together.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, just have
You won't
different
have the critical mass of 10 people.
or it might be bigger with a better time slot, or maybe chop this one down since this is kind of like 2 hours, right? Keep it tight at 1 hour and then do a different session earlier in the week or something. That way people can come and go as their schedule allows and it gives them some more flexibility.
I'm
And
good anytime except Friday after market close. That's a complete disaster for us because we got to update books and blah blah blah. So that's other than that, I'm good anytime.
okay, thank you for us. Yeah, and Dave mentioned the same thing that he didn't want to extend his working hours. Since you guys are futures heavy, you guys are working for, Asia and European time zones already.
Yeah, I'm up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, so I respect that a lot. And yeah,
I
like you
don't
guys
consider
work hard enough.
no, but I keep a schedule.
No,
You
no,
know,
I
four
totally
days a week.
understand. And
Warren, why do you need to switch the day?
oh no, I just want to provide more flexibility because
Uh-huh.
there's working folks and I just want to provide more options for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're not serving everybody at this time slot anyway. So
Right.
Maybe it just means I do it twice a week, and I'm not opposed to that. And maybe we
That's a
could do,
lot of work. It's a lot of
but
work for
but
you.
I'm doing this every day. Like I'm reading Zero Hedge, 2, 3 hours every single day. So whether I
Right.
talk to you guys or not, I'm doing the same work. Like I might as well share it. And when I talk to you guys, I'm learning a lot too.
Preach.
Yeah, and then
Or what about like in the evening?
yeah.
Like
So
7
yeah, yeah,
p.m.,
yeah,
after
exactly.
everybody
So
comes home from work, we can do a
right,
couple
right.
hours in the night.
So I think yeah, an after hours thing is needed. So
Yeah, in
yeah,
the
Sunday
evening.
night. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Sunday night is good. Most people, are at
So
home.
more like a pre-week prep, and then we can also do
Yeah,
more like education stuff and like
yeah,
do the book
like
reviews and so forth. Okay, I think it's a fair
yeah,
point.
because most people are kind of at home. We can kind of have like a pre-market preparation for the week,
Okay,
Sunday night.
and it's spaced out well enough
Good.
so that I don't have to, I mean,
Right,
I like Sunday evening too because I got to be here anyway to prep for the
okay,
right.
European session
perfect,
anyway, so that
perfect.
works for me.
Well, this is current.
S-
Excellent, excellent.
So we
And
can do like one Sunday
right.
evening and one
And
during the week, during the
yeah,
daytime,
yeah. And then uh and
middle of
also
the
I'm
week.
thinking we're gonna publicize Trader Talk a little bit better. And the greater membership isn't really part of this. So because our mailing list is almost 1,000 strong, and it's basically the same 10 folks. And I think it'll be a lot more interesting. So I think we should list it on the website, and then maybe the marketing guy should do some more marketing to get new blood. But yeah, so that too. And then for hours, is there a specific like 8 to 9? Is that doable for you guys? Does that sound fair?
For the
I
evening?
don't sleep.
You
You
mean
know,
for the Sunday evening?
yeah, 8 to 9, 9 to 10.
You're
I
extending
think
my
8 to 9,
hours.
7 to 9 is good. We need 2 hours,
I don't think so. Maybe like we'll start an hour. How about
an
that?
hour. Okay, so 7 to 8 is good.
You might be writing Gary's sleep time at 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, yeah, yeah. For East Coast folks, yeah, they're not gonna like this.
Yeah, I think 7 to 8 is good. After
Seven,
your
eight.
dinner, people kind of chilling, not a
Yeah,
whole lot
okay.
going on Sunday evening.
Okay.
7 to 8 is a good time.
7 to 8, that's still prime dinner time. I mean, think.
Really?
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's prime
I
lifetime.
mean, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
really? Then
if you
eight
have
to nine then.
like if
Eight
you
to
have
nine.
kids, right? You have to put them to bed, shower. There's a whole
Yeah, that's
routine, right?
true. True, true.
Eight, yeah, 8 to 9.
Eight to
Yeah.
nine is okay. Yeah, 8 to 9 we can do.
Is that wait? That's when Tulsa's on. Oh, that's okay. I don't.
Yeah, you're
I'll
gonna
watch.
run into TV time.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, that's
You can
Hey,
watch
you
your
can't you
show
can't you
anytime.
you're
you
gonna run
can't
into
interrupt
everybody
Tulsa
who's
King.
going to Lake Tahoe and are stuck in traffic at 8 to 9,
yeah.
8 to 11.
It's just fun to see Sylvester Stallone be a mobster. It's just like wow. Okay. All right. Good times. All right. So let me set that up for you guys. We'll do it after 8ish. I think that's the consensus. And
And
then
then during the week,
yeah. And then
we
during
can,
the week, maybe we could have another like open office hours thing. Um, And again,
like,
I wanna be a resource for the newer traders. Like maybe have like a beginners or white belt corner and just answer questions and troubleshoot. Because I know a lot of you guys are intermediate and advanced traders. Like I don't worry about you guys, but if our goal is to serve the retail trading community, we really have to support like the new guys. Like last night I was judging the CFA presentations and it was a fucking disaster. Adolfo left, right? Yeah, he left. Uh, like I can see what like these are the smart kids too. It's the Berkeley CFA class, and the way they do options, like very, very few people were selling options. I have my notes. I'll show it to you guys really quick.
yeah, and then also a
Yeah,
lot of
Wani was
them.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, I was there, and also a lot of them like, oh, they're watching news, they're listening to analysts
yeah.
report, and why you even care about any of that stuff?
Well,
That's the
math.
worst possible thing to do if you're going to trade anything, not just options,
Exactly,
anything. Do not listen to
agree.
what those clowns are saying on TV because they don't even know what they're
Agree.
talking about.
Well,
Agree
Right.
totally,
actually,
totally.
they're clowns. You know when it's happening, and they'll talk about it, and everybody will freak out. You can trade that curve. It's good trading.
Yeah,
He's
and
not wrong. I mean, the people
it's
who trade off
true.
what those clowns on CNBC and Fox Business and all that, by the time they get that news, I already knew it yesterday.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's all old crap already because it has to get filtered and it has to be edited before they can even say anything on TV. So by
Yeah.
the time you're hearing that stuff, it's already over.
Yeah,
So
and
so
it's
it
cloud your
offers an
judgment.
opportunity because
right,
they
right,
will extend the duration of the crazy impulse of
right.
freaking out.
But I do want to show you guys two things that I learned yesterday, and this made the whole freaking 3 hours worth it. Um, this one lady had a statistical background, and she liked that I was asking the panel of students about standard deviation. And she freaking did the Monte Carlo simulation on Amazon going forward. And this is what it looked like. I was like, holy shit, I've never thought about this in a trading context. And I don't even know what tool to use to generate this, but
You,
at least it starts the conversation.
you know, Warren, Rob is the
Right.
one to talk to.
Rob would
It's
love
about
this. Exactly.
Monte.
100%. Rob is a
Rob
data
is the
nerd.
only person.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry
Right.
to say only, but
Right.
he's the most
Absolutely. He's our back.
smartest person. Yeah, he's our
Yeah.
best.
He's
No
our
one
back.
even come
Right.
close to him.
Back testing God. 100%.
Yes, and Monte
Genius.
Hey
Carlo.
Warren,
Yeah.
Warren, it's fitting that thing looks like an asteroid about to smash into something.
Well, it's also a standard curve. It's I mean that's a standard distribution curve. That's kind of cool.
Exactly. And it's
So
just
I
it's
mean
a
the thing
different
is if
yeah.
I could monetize it, I would create things like this.
Right. So as adding value to our group, I would love to do this for like the Mag 7 and the 11 subsectors of the S&P.
So
Because that's our
there's
bread and butter.
Python code that I mean you don't even have to know that much.
Right. And
Yeah, I mean you
and
need a smart person to
right.
ask Chat GPT to write some code to do something for you.
Right. And I've been tracking, you guys have saw my master dashboard that I've always wanted to build. So this is part of that. And I'd like to get that automated. So
I have some Facebook AI
okay,
stuff
so we
that
gotta talk
I
and
may send you some
yeah.
links.
So so
He,
so me as product manager, I need to write down the product specs better and then elicit help from you guys. And since a lot of us have engineering backgrounds, this can move forward.
Excuse my simplicity. What the hell am I looking at?
Okay,
I don't
this
even know
is
what that is.
okay. This is basically trying to project all the possibilities of outcomes. So, you're basically it's the bell curve of standard distribution, standard deviation. It's just flipped on its axis. So
Yeah.
Well, I
it's
know what standard
okay.
deviation is, but that chart, what is it? What is it showing? Is that a
the
bunch of
Mon
different ways of trading and what the
the
likely
Monte
outcomes
So
are? Is
Carlo
that what it is?
that's a
simulation.
modeling of all the possible events and probabilities, and you end up with this curve of the likely conditions, and you end up with that center section that looks very
So
like.
so the takeaway is there's a bullish bias to Amazon based on past historical trends. That's it. And this does not include external catalysts whatsoever. This is purely off empirical numbers.
There's like 10,000 moving averages in there. Is each one of those a specific something that can happen? Is that
Yeah,
what we're looking at?
No, no. So
each line
so
is
they
one.
ran a lot of simulations, and this is what they all showed, and you end up with a density, sort of a visual density.
I see.
So
So it's
each
like
How do
this
you
is the
breed
stuff
it?
in the middle. The stuff in the middle is the highest is the most likely, and then the stuff in the top and bottom is least likely.
Yeah.
yeah, so each line is one outcome, and most of it
I
is going to
see.
clump in the middle like typical standard deviation theory. But there are
I
extremes. Yeah.
I see.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are future projections. Yeah, and to Flav's point, they're not averages. So
This is how you know I am not a financial professional. I have no idea what the hell that
yeah, no
is.
worries. And this is applied statistics. And as
Oh
Rob
my
has taught
god.
us, the he who knows the most math has the most fun. And I gotta give credit to Rob for that line. And he is not kidding about that. So the difference between us and more profitable traders is their knowledge of math. Okay.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's actually a Monte Carlo simulation that Rob has shown us before.
Oh, excellent. So next time we see him, we should bug him about this. So yeah.
It's standard stuff. It goes all the way back to like the 1950s.
It's just a
Yeah.
lot of us have forgotten the fundamentals. If Dave, that makes sense.
I mean, we always just I was taught and I always learned how to just keep it simple because that kind of stuff would give me a headache if I had to try to
Yeah,
Well,
understand
too
it's a
how.
much
little
details, too
it's a
much
little
It's just too
information,
esoteric.
much.
too
Getting
much
back
You
to
cannot
information.
SVOG,
predict.
we'll be able to
I just have
better learn.
learned. I've learned you cannot predict the future. Shit happens. Trade what's happening, not what you think is
Right.
going to happen or what has
True.
happened.
That is
That's
true.
that's the way that I do it.
Yes,
Not shitting on anybody's parade or anything,
That
but
is true.
so
That is
if
true.
somebody showed me that, I'd want to turn around and keep walking. It's
No, okay, no worries. And I'll show you guys one more thing that was cool from last night. One guy was doing a NVIDIA thing, and he had this screenshot, and I asked him where he got it from, and he said he got it from here. And you guys know I love the put call ratio and looking at volatility figures, and this showed put call ratio for the volume, and it separated also a put call ratio just for open interest. And for my earnings focused homies, this would be killer to look at foreknowledge and insider trading because you'll see the divergence between the cumulative bets and today's bets. And in that one DTE scenario, I'm looking for asymmetrical bets of information. So if we can output this in a better format, this can be used for hustling earnings trades a little bit tighter and figuring out directional bias. So work in progress. I saw this and I understood the potential, but yeah. So I'm gonna play with this and I'll let you guys know what I find. So yeah,
Hey,
I gotta
Warren,
be.
so what happened last night? Did you judge who's the winner
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
competition? What
So
happened?
yeah, so on these CFA presentations, here's like the rubric that we have. Basically, we want to. Oh, here, let me just go to the top. So.
It went
Uh,
on for so long.
yeah. So basically, you want to see like how is their option-based strategy? What's driving the return? What are the risks? What's the scenario? And then here's the specific mechanics that Massey was grading on. So are you buying? Are you selling? What's your time horizon? What strikes you're looking at? What kind of liquidity are you looking at? Is this a leverage position or not? Is it active or passive? How's the underlying? Is this always engaged or just risk on or risk off? What's your trade adjustment strategies just in case it happens? Are you hedging? Is this an income strategy? Are you just chasing alpha? What other objectives and risks and other points of view go into your analysis? Blah, 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 blah. So it's a little bit
so
too much, and it's not. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
um, so is this actual CFAs
This is CFAs for their alternatives curriculum, which Massey's teaches, which incorporates derivatives such as options.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is
And
not buy and
right,
hold.
right. But for the CFAs, like um, uh, I, uh, I I would not give them my money. Let's just put it this way. Like I would give Flav money and just be like, I'll
Well,
rent
so
this to you or
they're
something.
very constrained. And
Ye-
once they write a prospectus, they can't change strategies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so I mean,
this is
it's
not
a
what we
dynamics
do.
problem.
Yeah, they don't. It's not retail focused. Like they don't have the killer instinct that we have to live on
Right.
because we live and die off this stuff. Like to them, it's not their. Yeah, it's not it.
Well, and then they charge a lot of money, and they're using the same strategy times 50 customers. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, yeah, and they don't know what the F they're talking
Right. And
about.
it's very coarse grained.
Yeah.
So who got the highest score?
Oh,
Yes.
so oh yeah, oh yeah, again, this is Berkeley, right? I'm like, what the hell? Like one idiot showed up without a presentation deck. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So yeah, I gave him a D minus. Um and then Adolfo, who was here earlier, I gave him a B minus. He didn't have a great presentation. Susan did an Apple Ion Condor. He should got an A. The last four kids I gave A pluses because I was really impressed.
Oh,
Brendan
the
was really
girl,
solid.
the Asian
Tiffany,
girl.
yeah, Tiffany, the statistical girl, I gave it A plus. Aaron, the Chinese kid, I gave him A plus because he had the really cool IV data and he had the best presentation. It was the cleanest. Had all the key important screenshots and everything. Yeah, and then Joyce,
He's
uh,
going to get a job.
yeah, and then
Trust me. If he publishes something that's good,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's how people are getting hired right now.
Yeah. And then Joyce I was most impressed because
Really?
these beginners, she had the best strategy, which was she she did a JPM call spread, and then transitioned to an iron condor post earnings. And she said because there's volatility crush and the stock won't be likely to move afterwards, you should milk it going sideways. And I was like, holy shit. Even I'm too lazy to do this, but that was a great pre and post earnings strategy in one. So yeah, she deserves an A plus.
I like the guy that did the strangles.
Yeah, Brendan. Yeah.
Oh,
But that was
Brandon.
very risky, but I do like it. Yeah, selling a strangle on Boeing, a little dangerous, but I do admire the balls. So yeah, he was an A plus as well.
Dallas Strangle.
Yeah, like I asked him like why not an iron condor on Boeing instead of a strangle? He's like, "Oh, more money." I'm like, "Yeah, but you won't sleep that night." So yeah, but yeah, these are beginners. So like it's scary. Like these guys are gonna manage money. Like, oh my God, the world is gonna
Yeah.
burn.
I would not give my money to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Welcome, Ed.
Hey,
Let me paste the notes for you. And thank you for us. We'll get to your screenshots in just a smidge. Let's do our idiot of the week and get into the fun stuff. It's already
We're at
11:30. Holy cow.
11:30.
Yeah, yeah. We're having too much fun. All right.
Ours.
All right. And then we have so many meetings today. We have the Tasty Trade 130 preview. Let me paste that for you, Ed. In case you're interested. Where did that link go? Oh yeah, here you go. So yeah, thank you again, Flaw, for posting this. Tasty Trade is having a product demo of their back testing, their new back testing module. So there's a Zoom meeting at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time if you guys are free. And here is the sign up page in your chat. So I'll be there. So it's 1:30 p.m. and I'm really hungry, so I got to go rush out and get some food before that. Okay, cool. But yeah, first idiot of the week. This is fun. 13 hour ago, Mr. Intrepid Peace posted, how do I change the font color from red to green? Uh, Larry caught the visual. All right, so yeah, looking at he's trading on Robinhood, everything's red and goes down and to the right. So yeah, he's very unhappy. And so his comment is, I lost this much money over the past 4 years of trading. I didn't start with 24K. I kept adding and adding and losing till I got to this point. However, it's comeback season. Watch me go even lower. At least he's honest. Um, and yeah, getting around pattern day trading rules is really tough. And you kind of need that speed to get into really profitable positions and milk it, and also to get out of bad ones. So yeah, God, I feel bad for this kid. Or learn to trade futures or options on futures or something. But yeah, poor kid. All right, idiot number two. The title of this is fantastic. I was supposed to put a down payment on a house. What's the screen name? Aquila Blanco? What does Aquila mean in Spanish? I forgot. Aquila? Aquila. What does Aquila mean? Uh, Aquila means what? No one speaks Spanish here?
not well enough to know what
Not
that
one.
means.
Oh, okay.
Ask
Eagle?
Google.
Feminine noun, Aquila? It's an eagle? It's a bird? Oh, okay. Aquila? Uh, White Bird. Oh, okay. That's what his name is. Okay. White Bird says, I was supposed to put down payment on the house. He lost $35,000. Holy shit. He did micro strategy calls, very short dated. Oh my God. Yes, micro strategies was moving, but um
Yeah, he was probably trying to catch the momentum and then it pulls back. It's a very volatile stock.
holy cow. Wait, that's not it. Wow, poor guy. Let's see where it's at right now. Holy shit. Okay, so MicroStrategies had a top of 227 back on 1014. And
That's probably when he bought.
yeah,
The
oh
Bitcoin.
no. Let me double check his date. He posted this 6 days ago. So what is that? 11th? Oh, so
Yeah,
three
it's the 11th.
so 3 days before the peak, he gets in. So he's at this
And
candle.
on a Friday, that's a Friday. So he held that overnight or over the
Wow.
weekend.
Yeah. No,
That's
oh, this
balls of steel, dude. Balls of
wow.
steel. Or
Wow.
idiocy. You decide.
Well, he's gonna live in an apartment for a little bit longer. Oh, glory God. Dang. Wow. Was planning to buy a house with the gains, but I guess I have to wait. Aw. He's gonna stay at Wendy's a little bit longer. It's okay. Let's see
It's
how
so
old he is.
stupid too, because it's just trying to scalp essentially those really high volatility.
Yeah,
I mean, Bitcoin is already highly volatile, and MicroStrategy is essentially that volatility on steroids.
right. I mean, he could have done
And
this a
and you're
safe
trying to
way,
time it.
and it
Just so
has to
dumb.
work by that week. There's no room for error.
Yeah,
Those are the kind of traders that fund my living.
God bless him. God bless him. Yeah.
yeah.
And this loser, right? He's commenting on other people. Like he's commenting on this guy who lost $1 million, and he said, "Bro, in the last 2 years, you lost $750,000." Oh, no, 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 no. He's cocky because he hasn't lost his money. He posted this 12 days ago on October the 5th. You see this? Oh my God. You know what? Let's salt his wounds right here. This didn't age well. Let me reply to his thing. Oh, he deleted his comments. Holy shit. Oh my God. He's eating crow now. Oh, game over. Wow. Okay. He needs to double his antidepressant meds right away. Oh, poor kid. Okay. Loser number three. The title is Just Lost It All. I don't know what to do. Posted 2 days ago. Started with $38,000. It's down to 12K. And his Robinhood portfolio looks like a perfect dead cat bounce. Oh, by the way, last night's CFA presentation, number four, Intel call spread, the D minus grade. I asked him, "Have you ever heard of a dead cat bounce pattern?" He said no. So I showed him this. I showed him the image and overlaid it with Intel. He's like, "Oh shit!" I think I have it. I think I have a screenshot. Uh, where is it? The dead cat bounce. I just showed the multi-year and like here I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys. So yeah, so you see Intel here on a multi-year dead cat bounce. So then I showed him the image. So yeah, so I sent this picture to him like this overlay. These poor kids. They're like, holy shit. Yeah, trading is a deep well. There's something new to learn every single day. Okay, cool. All right, poor kids. Okay, anyway, back to loser number three. So, just lost everything, lost $20,000 on the put. Oh, sorry, lost 20K. I put in the 20K in my bank account, now left with this and 5K and blah blah blah. Please tell me how you cope. Don't lose. Do the opposite of what you've been doing. Those are the comments. Oh, poor guy. All right.
Yeah, base hits. You're not looking for home runs. He just needs to go mechanical.
All right, loser number four. This is goodbye. I shouldn't be laughing, but like, it's just so funny. Okay. Okay, $10,000 account that has collapsed to $600. And again, the pattern on this portfolio net liquidity is just dead cat bounce after dead cat bounce. Like it's just technical analysis, man, beautiful. This guy says, options are an addiction, no different than any other drug. This was my gambling money, and I added extra from my savings. I hope this graph does something for someone out there. Take the money and run if you ever win. I kept playing and learned my lesson. Uninstalling Robinhood after taking what's left. I will miss you guys. You were the best part of doing this. You know
There
what?
it is, Warren. He just said it. Gambling. That's
Gam
the biggest thing I always hear from everybody who ever tries to talk to me about this shit. How do you handle it? Yeah, they cheat you, but you guys are approaching it as a game, as a gamble. This is a business. And not only that, as a retailer, you're going up against the people who not only know exactly what's going to happen, they created the whole damn thing. So you going in dumping $10,000 because some guy on Wall Street bets told you, hey, this is how a good way to make some money is ridiculous. You don't start any business without knowing anything. I wouldn't open a dentist's office tomorrow. I don't know how to be a freaking dentist. So I mean, this is what they're doing. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
but
that's why I'm into back testing.
Yeah. I
You're
mean,
not
it's
willing to
easy.
invest
It's the thought that
this
this is easy
weekend and
money,
say,
right?
I
And
back
it's
tested this strategy against, 57 snapshots of the past 10 years. Then you're hurting yourself. I mean,
yeah,
This is
it's worth 5 weekends, 5 hours a day, 2 days.
this is not an easy business. So
No.
you're right.
yeah.
This is not an easy business. Imagine a business
No
where
muscle control. You run
you could
something.
work for
I mean,
you
or
could work
walk
for
the ball and run back test while it's executing.
Extremely hard.
imagine if you had a job where you go to work for 3 months and then you end up losing money.
Yeah.
Most people can't handle that. You know what I'm saying? It's true. Like
It is true.
most professionals will have a quarter where they lost money, and then yeah, sure they'll make money the rest of the quarter. But your average Joe, tell me, I go get up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, stay on the computer until 3, and then at the end of 3 months, you owe me 6 grand.
Yeah.
That's so good. I
It takes
love
a
that.
special kind of lunatic to do this job. You have to be special in your brain to even want to attempt it. And most people don't have the balls to do it. They think it's easy. Like somebody said, I'm sorry, I forgot who said it. They think it's easy. They see all these flashy ads. Oh, trade options. You use $20 to make 8 million. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
only
If it
15.
was easy, everybody would be
I'll
rich.
be making it. Yeah.
It's the only 10 minutes a day crowd.
Yeah, this is hard. This is not easy. It's great. Love you guys.
Actually, Warren, I got something for you real quick. One of our guys is writing up an article that we're going to turn into a video about options trading in our style of being really mean and elitist about it. And I'm going to make sure when he's done, I'm going to shoot it to you. I want you to go over it before we decide to shoot a video on it.
I would love to be a part of that. Let me know. Happy to help. That's so cool. All right, you guys are awesome. Last fun loser of the week. And you know what? Let me write that down. But I thought about this the other day. I should stitch together from the past save videos all of the loser of the week components and just stitch that into a long compilation. And I think that would educate a lot of newbies too of what not to do. Like start here. If you see yourself in any of these videos, stop. Put the phone down.
It'd be a cool separate doc.
Yeah, and then
If you're really smart, you could embed it into something else.
yeah. It's yeah, so
Profit.
yeah, let me do a trader. You know what? I'm gonna go on Fiverr and just upload all the footage, hire some poor, kid in the Philippines to do the editing for me. Like I'm not gonna do this shit. Yeah, trader, yeah, idiot of the week. I'll stitch a compilation. That'd be fun. All right. Last idiot of the week. This is a China trade, so that was great. So this kid, oh, this is a Eurozone. Oh, this is a German person. Oh, holy cow. Dyna position. This is your position. Um, so what did he buy? Which ticker? I forgot. Um, Wong Investment. Oh my God. Sorry. Okay. But anyway, the comments are Wong Investments, Ancient Chinese Secret. We run. Oh, this is so good. I got to take a screenshot. It's so funny. Holy fuck. The classic. Something Wong. pump and dumplings. Oh my God, that's
Pump
great.
dumpling. Pump and
Pump and
dumplings.
The plunge protection team. Wow, this would be good
That's
stuff.
fantastic. The pump and dumplings. That's
Dumpling.
good.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That's a good one.
Ah, we rug pull you. Oh, so good. Wow. But yeah, we'll take a look at Chinese stocks, obviously. But yeah, everyone who is late to the party is hammered. And again, we will look like the mainland Chinese folks themselves. Okay, so those are the idiots of the week. Yeah, but this German kid, he's wiped out. Um, his portfolio went from 42 euros, sorry, 42,000 euros to 24,000, going long on China stocks late. Holy cow, got his face. Well, he's not killed, but he got a 20% haircut. Yeah, good job, loser. Okay. All right. With that, let's go to the charts and look at our indexes. So thank you for your patience. It's 11:43. Holy cow, Warren. You are so slow. All right. Let me go to my toss. This is the wrong module. Where did it go? Nope, that's not it. Where's my main? Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, got it. All right. Let's go over our indexes. All right, so here we got our S&P futures, the supposed smart tier of money, and looking at momentum for starters in our 90-day worldview. Um, our last big peak was July 15th, and that was the peak of the summer rally. And currently, we're still just treading water at the zero line in terms of net momentum. So again, I really like on balance volume over RSI because overbought and underbought has context historically, and without seeing the actual hardcore numbers, like you don't know what that interpretation means of this is overbought bots or this is underbought. But here, you see the real water level. So yeah, it seems like the future side it's just treading water. So smart money doesn't really believe in this rally. It's very shallow, so to speak. All right, so let's look under the hood. Looks like contract count is a little bit above average, or fairly normal, about 500,000. And let's see, put call ratio is about 2.7. Fair value is about 1.4. So this is a little bit looks like just people picking up cheap hedges and whatnot. And it's a nice flat day. So multiple entry iron condors day all around here. All right. And let's look at SPX. All right, looking under hood for SPX. This is a big boy option contracts. They're worth 10 each SPX contract is worth 10 shares of the SPY. And here we're at the perfect normal level, which is 1.3 exactly. So fair value at put call ratio. Deltas don't look very extreme at all. So again, a normal, flat, boring trading day. Perfect for zero DTE sideways action, which I have nothing on today. So yeah, this is a very expensive Thursday morning with you guys for me. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at SPY and check out the retail side of the house. And looking at momentum, exact same thing as the future side. So again, the S&P rally is pretty shallow and could go the other way quickly. And let's look under the hood. Put call ratio is 1.1, so fair value is 1.2, 1.3. It's a little bit more optimistic than the faster and smarter side of the S&P 500. And looking at the deltas, yeah, very boring, very healthy volume. Yeah, it's a happy day for the scalpers, but I guess for the Wall Street best kids or that's trying to make money, and the biggest index goes nowhere at 0% all day, they're not really happy. But for everyone else that's selling volatility, this is our bread and butter. All right, let's pivot to the Nasdaq, the other retail darling of the indexes. And let's go to the charts first and look at momentum. and the on-balance volume looks just like the S&P. So it has a 715 peak, and then the summer collapse into negative sell-off territory and taking profits. And now it's recovered above the zero line, but not very much at all. And it's again treading water, basically at the zero line. So this rally is also paper thin, and this its best days are still behind it from the summer high of mid-July when the Nasdaq was higher. That was like 501, and the Nasdaq or the Qs today is 492. So still 10 ticks lower than that peak. So yeah, we'll see if the 50 basis point rate cut can push this over the hill, but it's not looking great so far, but time will tell. All right, let's look under the hood at today's option stats. Looks like QQQ's today's put call ratio is 0.86, and that's remarkably optimistic. And fair value is a 1.3. So looks like people are trying to buy the dip here, since um, yeah, people are trying to figure out how to leverage maybe a semiconductor write-up in the Qs. And I guess if you're in the Qs, you're definitely looking at Nvidia in a big way. I don't know how you're not. Okay, all good. Let's look at the Russell 2000 and take a look. All right, Russell 2000 today is diverging from its other index cousins. While everyone else is up, the Russell is down. And usually it's the inverse. Russell is usually the more optimistic one. So at least today with the small cap side of things, it's a little bit different. And let's see, on the momentum side, it's a little bit different than the Nasdaq or the S&P, and there's been a lot of rotation into small caps, and it's peaking now, relatively speaking, in the last 90-day window here. So yeah, you can almost kind of see, some attempts at a cup and handle formation a couple times in the last 90 days as it seesaws upward. So yeah, making progress here, whatnot. And let's look under the hood with the Russell and take a look at the put call ratio. And fair value is about 2.3. Today's about 1.8. So definite optimism. And I anticipate folks are trying to buy the dip here. So yeah, makes sense with ECB cuts around the corner. Going long on a red day for the Russell makes sense since it seems that small caps are in favor for indexes. So yeah. And then yeah, looks like this isn't obviously catching a falling knife at all with low money spent on bearish deltas here. Okay, cool. And we gotta take a look at the diamonds. Again, not our most popular index, but it does have a place in the index rotation strategy. And unlike the other indexes, it's had a very steady climb upward on the momentum side. It's very clean, if anything, which is unusual. So going back to Bubba H's point from Larry, the big boys like to use the diamonds as index rotation when the other indexes aren't working well. So yeah, this is again not a very widely traded instrument, but it pays. Holy cow. We're working too hard. We should just park our money here. Um, gosh. Diamonds are a trader's best friend, maybe. And the put call ratio is a beautiful and perfect 1.111. Nice. And the diamonds for a long time is the retarded index, right? It's the kid that likes to eat glue in the corner. It's permanently stuck at 1.0 for the put call ratio. And traditionally, it's been the most optimistic one of all of the indexes. And based on momentum, it's rightly justified, really. All right, cool. Well, those are our key indexes. Let's just take a look at the VIX before we alt tab out a toss. And yeah, I have a good VIX article for you guys to take a look at in just a second too. But yeah, VIX is at 19 at the moment, and we'll see if VIX has room to go up. And again, lots of active wild cards all across the world. All right, let's go back to our notes. Okay, cool. Let's go to our fear and greed index and check out what CNN's cooking up. All right, so the aggregate score for today is 72 from CNN, and yesterday was 69. 1 week ago was 69. 1 month ago was 55, but 1 year ago was 39. So again, we're going back into October seasonality, and we're getting confirmation of these bearish trends in October. Yet, we're not seeing that reflected in the current marketplace, but October's not done yet, and we still have a lot of Q3 earnings to go through. And those dog days of summer earnings might be kind of painful. And there's a lot of retail stuff coming up and all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll have to keep our eye out for that. All right, looking at our first indicator from CNN, they're looking at the 125-day moving average here, and they're calling it extreme greed, which I'd say is justified temporarily, or at least at the moment. Going to indicator number two with the Heisenberg omen. This is looking at the 52-week highs versus the 52-week lows and looking at which stack is bigger. And we're still skewed towards more tickers being closer to their highs at the moment. But it's not extreme greed, it's just greed at the moment. But according to the McKellen index, which is looking at the overall number of tickers rising versus selling, so it's more of a median-esque value. And this is still indicating extreme greed, relatively speaking. In fact, very strong extreme greed if we are looking at this compared to the, say, the springtime strength. Cool. So that's all we want to look at from CNN. And let's go to the Stock Traders Almanac now for the next 90-day read. All right, starting with October. Beware October phobia from crashes in 29, 87, and 1997, and the back-to-back massacres of 78 and 79, and Friday the 13th, 1989, and the 2008 meltdown. Yet October is a bear killer and turned the tide in 13 post-World War II markets. The first October top was in 2007, blah, blah, blah. Worst 6 months of the year ends with October, and October is no longer the worst month. And it's the best Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ month from 93 to 07. And in presidential election year, October, since 1950, the Dow has been number 12 in performance, number 12 for the S&P, and number 12 for the NASDAQ. And October is a great time to buy. And there's big October Dow gains, 5 years in a row from 99 to 03 after atrocious Septembers. And you can enter the best 6 months of the year earlier using MACD. And then October 2022 is the best Dow month by points, up 14%. Okay. Questions, comments? Okay. Looking at November, November's read is it's number one for the S&P and number two for the Dow since 1950. It's number two on the NASDAQ since 1971, and it's the start of the best 6 months of the year, and also start of NASDAQ's best 8 months and the best three. Simple MACD timing indicator almost triples the best 6 month strategy and doubles NASDAQ's best eight. Day before and after Thanksgiving Day combined, only 19 losses in 71 years. And week before Thanksgiving, Dow up 19 of the last 30, but down the last 6. And then presidential election years, November ranks number one for the Dow, number one for the S&P, and number 7 for the NASDAQ. And NASDAQ is down 22.9% in November 2000 due to an undecided election and tech bubble burst. Shout out to ASML. So yeah, November guys, expect fireworks. I got long VIX calls. I'm just waiting to cash in. Come on, baby. All right. December's read. All right. December, number 3 for the S&P and Dow since 1950. Number 3 for the NASDAQ since 1971. And in 2018 was the worst December since 1931. Free lunch will be served on Wall Street before Christmas, and small caps start to outperform larger caps near the middle of the month. And the Santa Claus rally visible in graph above and on page 118. In 1998, it was the best part of the fourth quarter since 1928, and fourth quarter expiration week, most bullish triple witching week. Dow up 23 of the last 32. And in presidential election years, December ranks number 2 for the Dow, number 2 for the S&P, and number 5 for the Nasdaq. So yeah, hopefully we have a Santa Claus rally. But if China is a canary in the coal mine, then it definitely doesn't look very good for that at all. All right, cool. Questions, comments? No? All right. Let me catch up here. And Faraz posted a couple great screenshots. Let me take a look. And oh, yes, Faraz's Spy is like SPX for Pussies t-shirt has arrived. That's so cool. Um, if someone in the wild responds to this for us, please let us know and invite them to our meeting.
It's in the laundry right now, and I'm gonna wear it tomorrow.
Hey, if you want to kick it tomorrow, just text me. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in your area, so I'll wear it tomorrow.
Yeah, let me know. We'll figure out. Yeah.
Okay.
And then here's the silver chart. That's the 2-year silver weekly chart. So yeah, very undervalued asset, and the amount of paper contracts on silver is unimaginable. So if you look at the true short exposure, it's it's insane. And don't forget, Russia was the first central bank to add silver to their central reserves, and many banks will do the same. And don't forget, the BRICS meeting is October, what, 22nd, 23rd? And if they just did this, all the other new member states to the BRICS association and existing members will look to do the same. And Russia's already published data on this. They're going to spend $500 million on silver purchases for every year for the next 3 years at least. And they're also buying gemstones, which is interesting. And that's not a very good traditional bet, even for an alternative investment, because the bid-ask spread on gemstones is massive and is subjective and complicated. And yeah, so I'm not thrilled about gemstones, but definitely commodities are moving for Russian central banks. And then here is the 2-year OJ weekly chart from Faraz. So yeah. When is the orange juice report out? Sometime in the winter, if I remember Trading Places correctly. Does anyone know? Let's see.
Not
Orange
off the top of my
juice
head.
crop report. When is that released? October? No. Um, don't know. Okay. Well, that's not important, but yeah. Okay. Thank you for us for the chart. And what did Kurt post? Here is the expected move for this week. It will plot next week's EM at close of business. Ooh, yay, expected moves. Perfect. Uh, what else? Oh, and then Faraz posted last 30 days of insider buys and sells for Nvidia. And while there's a lot of different thoughts on how to interpret this, universally, though, I think most traders agree. People sell for many reasons, but people only buy for one, which is to make money. And no one's buying this. And even Jansen Wong is selling like there's no tomorrow. So and then Tesla's doing the same thing.
In
And
the last
Berkshire.
2 years, Warren, he sold nearly $1 billion in shares. I can't post it because it's too large. Eight
Yeah,
hundred
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
thirty-five million dollars in the last 2 years,
Uh,
and nobody has bought. Not just him. Nobody. None of the CEOs. None of the big money insider guys have bought anything of Nvidia.
right. Ditto for Berkshire Hathaway insiders, ditto for Tesla
But
insiders.
they do get shares through their compensation, so they don't have to buy.
Right. And when you're that concentrated, everybody's going to tell you to diversify.
And it's a multi-decade high, to be fair.
Right.
I would
Right.
be selling two nonstop in the last 2 years.
Well, if you're worth $1 billion, you don't want your $1 billion all in one place.
Yeah,
And 300 million sounds like a giant number, but you want that spread out
yeah,
because the chances of your $1 billion going down 30% is really, really high.
yeah. No, no, fair point. Thank you for the post. And what else? Flav, yes, this is a zero-sum game. Like, yeah, money's never lost. It's just transferred. And then there's lots of middlemen collecting and taxing along the way. So, yeah. Good stuff. And
It is
yes,
effectively destroyed, but it
uh,
wasn't real money till you sell.
yes, it's a form of revolving credit thanks to Robinhood and credit cards. Fair enough. And yes, to Ed's point, yes, the Nifty 50 is softening. And um, I think India also, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Like, there's a lot of offshoring that's happening big time in the tech space right now. But while India's the beneficiary right now, they will also have a collapse too. There'll be another new India, and it's going to be called Indonesia and Pakistan and Brazil and Nigeria at some point. So yeah, it's going to rotate around, but I think I don't think Modi or his team or is really planning for that either. I mean, I guess it's the next guy's problem, but yeah. Okay, fair enough. I still don't have stock charts, so we'll skip that. But yeah, we'll look at earnings. Lots of fun stuff. Let's see, what's cooking for today? Oh, baby, Netflix, Intuitive Surgical, WD-40 out of San Diego. We got Crown Holdings, Western Alliance Bank Corporation. And again, most banks have already published, but the majority of them are doing really well due to the carry trade from the rate drop. So, um, you guys want to play Western Alliance Bank Corporation? There's that. Um, there's some REITs and what other smaller banks too, if you guys want to look at that. And then tomorrow we have American Express, Procter and Gamble, Co-America, Ally Financial, another potential bank to hustle for the carry trade. We have Fifth Bank Corp, yet another carry trade candidate. And that's about it that I recognize. All right, cool. So it could be a fun Thursday for earnings. All right.
So Warren, so all the banks should be doing pretty good this earnings, right?
Not
Right?
necessarily.
Except for
It's
like the smaller regional banks like Western Alliance and a couple others that you just mentioned.
Yeah, you'd have to compare against their rivals that already published this week. But
Right.
I need to also remember in the rate cut was kind of was announced like 2/3 into this quarter. So like, did these other folks make that much money in the last couple of weeks because of 50 basis points? Yes and no. So there was a timing aspect to it, and if you had the cash on hand to put on trades. So again, every trading desk at these smaller banks, like who knows, what that looks like for their treasury officer. And yeah, so there's some homework to be done. But with that kind of a tailwind, they should be profitable. And if they're not, you should short the crap out of them because they're gonna fucking collapse when the commercial loans go upside down for them.
Mm.
So yeah, complicated. Do your homework. Yeah, it's not a sure thing, but it's a higher probability than normal with that kind of a tailwind. Okay, let's talk ASML since they had the big earnings. And again, that weird leak was really bizarre. So that leaked report was all about forward demand. So everything else was positive except bookings went down 53% quarter over quarter. So that just means the pipeline dried up. Over half the pipeline is gone. So future sales is 47% of capacity of the current quarter.
So
So
you could map that into who's consuming their products. Intel's completely scaled back all of their plants, and
right, right.
DRAM manufacturers are probably scaled back. DRAM and NAND manufacturers are probably scaled back, and then China has disappeared. and they were building a lot of fans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, Larry, if you want to unmute, I'm curious to see, any opinions on ASML puking, if you're there, Larry.
This thing. Am I back again?
Yeah, good. There. Go ahead, Larry. Yeah, go ahead. We hear
Yeah,
you.
people were just too optimistic about the fabs. I mean, those
Mm,
damn things are 15, $20 billion a piece. And the markets, except for NVIDIA, ain't moving that fast. So TSMC is doing fine. Everybody else is pushing the stuff out. ASML has to suffer. They're not going away. It's just too optimistic.
yeah, yeah. I think
And
it's a
and
very
that's the norm. I mean, that again, you trade the news if you can get ahead of the silly people who read tomorrow's news and read the news for the next 3 days. That's a tradable thing.
yeah, yeah. And again, this is a longer, I mean, the consequences of this will take some time to unfold. But yeah, this is the hardware guy. This is foundational for the industry. So yeah, if these high-end UV lithography machines aren't moving, then yeah, no one's gonna make these astronomical capex investments if there's no market for it. So yeah, Nvidia will have a rip down at some point. It's hard to say which quarter. And again, you can front load a lot of revenue and play a lot of games with that. So, but yeah, there is some additional risk for this next earnings. All right, cool. And again, who leaked it? And was it deliberate? Was it not? It's like these are a lot of good questions. So yeah. And whether we're wrong or right doesn't matter. Just as long as we're asking the questions or the right questions is all I care about. All right, let's talk Walgreens for a second. And again, this is a great barometer for retail health. And yeah, it did really well. I didn't have a dog in a fight, so but I was definitely watching it and wanted to see what happened. And yeah, long story short, they closed down many unprofitable stores. And what that means was they had, massive theft. And once they moved the business out of lawless progressive cities where the grand larceny charge is now four figures to start with. So you can steal up to $999, and it's a slap on the wrist. And again, we've talked about the complicated homeless industrial complex of just San Francisco County, right? So it's a four-tiered object. On the bottom, you have the fiends, the druggies, the junkies. This is the rank and file of everything. So this large mass is very well subsidized. And that's why all of the homeless in the world and the globe really likes to congregate in San Francisco. So that's the core base. And these guys are doing the retail theft. They're getting inputs on, and they even have shopping lists from the fence, from the middlemen. And the middlemen are old Asian senior citizens and Latino hustlers. And they're giving out these shopping lists and they're having the junkies steal, and then they're repackaging and moving the products on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, eBay, and a bunch of other places. So do not buy, uh, uh, you know, uh, questionable retail merchandise because it comes from this corridor. And then above the hustlers and middlemen is the Sinaloa cartel, which moves all of the drugs and dominates this side of California's drug trade for all narcotics, or not all, most. So, and then the highest class is the bureaucratic and politician class that benefits from all of this. They get kickbacks for their own jobs through consulting, NGOs, nonprofits. They give jobs to friends, all kinds of kickbacks under the table. It's a business. So yeah, so these are the four layers. So the fiends, the middlemen, the drug lords, and the politicians. Thank you, San Francisco. Fucking fucktards. Okay. So yeah, that's the Walgreens experience. And congratulations to Walgreens for getting out of bad markets, but this speaks ill of consumer sentiment. So yeah, again, When you're shopping for real estate, if there's a Whole Foods nearby, you're good. If there's no Walgreens nearby, you might be in trouble. All right. And 7-Eleven has a similar thing. So we're gonna power through and we gotta end at 12:30, like no later than 12:30, because we gotta go do trades and stuff. But yeah. And again, there's lots of great articles. Maybe this is more of reading material and homework. You guys can read what you're interested in. We don't have to talk about everything, but yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, 7-Eleven is also closing underperforming stores, and that's just code word for high crime rates. So you can read between the lines. And then checking out Bank of America, obviously carry trade beneficiaries here. And yeah, banks are doing well. Oh, thank you, Faraz, for posting our 3-year Walgreens chart here. And what is this? Y equals negative X plus 52. So yeah, beautiful downward slope. It's you could just draw the trend line and just trade around that. It's so beautiful. Uh, good option trading is just a work of art when it's done well. All right. Thank you for us. Okay. So yeah, banks doing well. I mean, no surprises there. Let's fast forward. And Goldman Sachs Q3 profits jumped 45%. Of course. I mean, this is the premier trading desk squad of the planet, right? There shouldn't be more cutthroat SOBs than the Goldman Sachs guys, right? Okay. Again, I never got into the IB world, never wanted to. I thought they were all douchebags in college, and that was before they got money, right? Imagine my classmates now. All right. Um, all right, we talked ASML already. We'll fast forward to that out of that. Let's take a quick glance at swaggy stocks to take a look at our counterparty from the retail bet side of the house. And again, these are idiots trading on Robinhood on their iPhones. And for the most part, they're trading in the toilet on the toilet. All right, let's take a look at their top 20 tickers for today. Looks like it's Nvidia, TSM, Netflix, Spirit Airlines, Tesla, Wayfair, the Qs, ASML, Rocket Lab, Donald Trump stock, Robinhood, AMD, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Oklo, what's Semi? Amazon, Supermicro, Meta, and the one space company, and I forgot what this was, and then Russell 2000. Okay, interesting. Yeah, everything looks fairly green. Nothing really red and overpowering. So pretty decent day for the retail traded folks.
Did you see the news?
What's the
What
news?
news?
Robinhood's going to have a
24-hour trading.
PC-based platform and a PC-based platform. You'll be able to do something besides trade on your phone.
Oh, wow. We
Yeah,
might
they're
be
doing
interested.
24-hour trading.
Okay, desktop platform. That would be interesting. Oh, okay. Thank you, Larry. Okay, I just pulled up the article. You're right. Oh, wow. Some game changers. I saw a mention of futures and options. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. All right. Robinhood launches desktop platform, adds
Future.
futures and index options trading. Wow. Schwab getting some competition. Hey,
That's good news for me, man. I love it when people do that. All
Yeah,
the
commissions are
rookies
out
are
of the
going to go
board.
straight to Robinhood. They already
yeah.
have Robinhood. They're going to go straight to Robinhood, and futures volumes are going to go through the roof. Thank you.
Hell
And it's
yeah.
24
They're going to
hours.
trade SPX up the wazoo.
And they can do it 24 hours.
We're gonna have a surge in liquidity, and then it's gonna collapse. Just put just put the 90-day timer on the wall.
I just saw
Think
dollar
about
signs, man.
think of all those college funds and down payments.
Oh, God bless them. This is so good. And with the Chinese stock market collapse, it just excites me because this is now, America's turn. So, you know, we can harvest them. All right. Good times. All right, I'm excited for that. Thanks, Larry. All right, meta news. Sorry, meta and econ news. Let's see. Yeah, there was the retail sales numbers, biggest seasonal adjustment ever, and it was very bullish, very robust retail sales report. Blah blah blah. Um, but without the adjustment, retail sales dropped 7.5% month over month. So that is like a almost 8% variance between the fixed number and the real number. But it is an election year. Okay. What kind of shenanigans is this? So yeah. Um retail sales will continue to crumble down. And translation, the trading candidate is Dollar Tree and Dollar General. And that looks just like Walgreens. And let me show you guys. So here's DG, right? Bam, gap down and getting hammered. It's kind of sideways at the moment post earnings, but it's not going anywhere. And let's look at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree is a little bit more cleaner on the linear side, but yeah, it's just outflows and bleeding out like crazy. Negative 38 million shares sold every single day. So yeah, institutions are dumping them like crazy, I'm sure. Good times. All right, let's go.
We liquidated our full position in December of 22, and thank God we did. Because of the 25% increase in price, and we were like, okay, so the poor guy walks in because the poor people, they just care about how much they can buy. Used to be able to buy 5 things, now I can buy 4. Then they started and then plus their stores are empty. They didn't really have much, so we were like, okay, we're done. We liquidated in 22, and thank God we did.
Perfect. Got out at 170 something. It's set that's all-time high then.
No, we yeah, it went to 170. We sold around
140,
probably in the
150.
140 range. I think I could look it up, but it was
Yeah.
around 140.
No, that's still great. I mean, based on the technicals then, like they had a big gap up spike before that. That still makes a lot of sense. Like you guys got out well. Like you didn't know that it would have kept going. And there was COVID and lockdowns. I think still a good exit. Yeah. And adjacent to consumer sentiment is the strip club proxy, right? So Rick's Cabaret out of Dallas, Texas, again, a great prognosticator of US domestic spending. And as you can see, very, very bearish and sideways and choppy and bearishly choppy. And on balance volume, it's net sell-off like crazy. Oh, yeah, this is hilarious. Yeah, even the underlying asset is taking off its clothes. Thank you, Flaw, for all the tickers so we could copy and paste. Thank you very much. All right. Last 10 minutes. Oh my God, let's fast forward. Goldman Sachs is citing weak consumer sentiment data based on AutoZone, and let's take a look at the charts really quick. AZO. Yeah, it's really expensive and it's not very liquid. So for option traders, this isn't the easiest to trade. But yeah, this might be weakening. And as you can see, momentum and inflows have collapsed and it's right at the zero line. So with the right trigger, this could go downward quickly. So we'll have to see how the next earnings goes. And then here's O'Reilly on the other side, doing a lot better. And I need to talk to my mechanic friends to get some scuttlebutt and see from their point of view, what's good. Like O'Reilly, Pep Boys, and what Napa. I think everyone has their favorite, but I wonder if there's some general consensus. All right, cool. And Starbucks is not doing well, as we mentioned earlier, with the desperation and speed and urgency of their promotions. And yeah, so sideways, and they're probably looking into the future for the Santa Claus rally. And there's nothing more, Santa Claus-esque than, having a Frappuccino and doing your Christmas shopping, right? During Thanksgiving. So yeah, here's SBUC, bucks and yeah, just sideways. It's not very robust, say, compared to say like McDonald's. So if you go to McDonald's, this is higher into the right. This is like what inverse Walgreens, right? Um, Crazy inflows. It's very high and steady. Unheard of pickup here. So yeah, we'll keep our eye out for this. And yeah, it seems like a lot of that's clumping just for the big boys, really. The other retailers and fast food outlets aren't saying the same things. Maybe besides like In-N-Out and so forth. All right, and then here's manufacturing data, not positive, obviously. And this is a great VIX article. We don't have time to go into it, but I would encourage you to check it out. It talks about VIX skew and whatnot, and makes the case for a higher volatile environment. And yeah, just we don't have time, but please take a look. And this is a premium article, but I really liked it about hedgies. So basically, blow off top after 8 weeks of selling, hedge funds capitulate and buy stocks at the fastest pace since 2021. Everyone going all in. And we're getting again confirmation on the central banking side with the ECB's, expected and anticipated potential rate cuts. So yeah, and then here's another paywall article. I just want you guys to see the headline at least. And this is just talking about more rotation into small caps potentially as large caps kind of run out of steam. Okay, and then overall, here is another paywalled screenshot. But yeah, US profit growth is negative for all but the largest companies. And yeah, that's why we're a little fearful of Nvidia. Like if Nvidia sneezes, the rest of us get, freaking monkeypox, right? And let me show you guys the equal weighted SPX, just as a comparison against the S&P. So here is RSP, the equal weighted one. And yeah, um, while it's still higher and to the right, it's not quite as extreme and frothy looking as the current SPX. Let me just kind of overlay this really quick for you guys visually.
There should be a viewing thing where you apply SPX.
Oh,
I,
how do you
I
do
usually
that?
do this sometime offline.
Okay, I would like to learn that. But yeah, we'll do it the old school way here. Okay. Okay. So, it looks okay. So it's a little better, but not by much. So we have SPX here and then the equal weighted one on the back. Okay. It's not as extreme, but yeah. There is a overweightedness for NVIDIA. Okay, cool. All right, we're not going to talk black swans. We mentioned theaters of war. Russia's warning against a planned strike against Iran. US politicians are pressuring Ukraine to lower the draft age to 18. We talked about that. You know what? Let's skip the political stuff. We can't really trade on that. We got 5 minutes left. Is there any specific topic you guys want to talk about? Um, Maybe tech and China news, maybe. I think we're more interested in that. Okay, let's jump forward in the last 5 minutes. All right, we talked Uber and Expedia potentially hinting on doing a takeover. And again, the CEO is from the Expedia executive team. Of course, he would, continue talks on the back end. All right, so here's TSM. Since we've been talking about ASML, it only makes sense to talk about TSM. So here's TSM's brief snapshot of their earnings. So net income year over year, 54% increase. Gross margins holding steady at north of 53% quarter over this quarter versus last quarter. Operating profit, 58% year over year increase. Operating margin, 52.5% quarter over quarter increase, and net sales up 39% year over year. I mean, by can slim metrics right here, these are all freaking home runs. So rightly so, TSM is gapping up and dancing very close to my freaking two sigma strike there. But yeah, I still got a couple bucks away. But yeah, that was quite the gap up. and I wasn't quite sure how to play it, and I thought the ASML thing would continue, but looks like TSM's doing fantastic. All right, so yeah. Well, that's TSM for you. Good times there. And let's talk Elon Musk for a second. And let's pull up Tesla stock. I haven't looked at it today. Today it's down 0.5%, and looks like net momentum is drying up in a big way, and it's returning back to sanity at the zero line. So yeah, the marketplace is rejecting Elon Musk in a big way, at least from a trading point of view. Culturally, politically, we don't have to get into that, but at least with this, yeah, uh, Elon's fully pissed off his fan base. You like, yeah, he's going all in because Tesla's gonna have a lot of fraud lawsuits, and Trump can make a lot of those things go away. But yeah, if you look at the candlesticks, gosh, it's all dojis, doji. And everything's approaching the zero line. So yeah, one good sneeze and Tesla gets a fever. And let's look at the betting public. What is the put call ratio right now? 0.66. Wow. If you know Elon's New World Order affiliations, this put call ratio should tickle you. And I'm a Mason, so it's kind of funny to me. So yeah. Uh, oh, that's my alarm to check my positions. 12:29, of course. Okay. Okay, running out of time here. Gosh, we have too much fun, guys. Any final thing to talk about? Gosh. Let's talk China. Let's just talk China, right? Let's talk Turkey with China. All right, let's pull up the Shanghai composites. All right, so here's a chart, China RMB rate. Looks like it's uh went back up to 7.12, devaluing a little bit from its bottom of 7.01. But yeah, this might skyrocket to, I don't know, 14, double, 20. We'll have to see. Let's take a look at the Shanghai composite. And yeah, so it's been a very choppy week since the end of the 75th CCP holiday or national holiday celebration. And unlike us, they have limit downs, limit ups. And yeah, the Shanghai Exchange is has a very short leash. It's not really a free market. It's the A-share market in China is well known for just nothing but grifts and inside jobs. And yeah, it's all insider trading. It's all information based. There is no free market, period. And everyone that went all in and took out loans and credit, they're all hosed now. And it's decimation. But yeah, let's go to the charts. There might be another small bailout. I don't know, but it shouldn't do much. It's going to only delay the inevitable. As you can see, the market's very choppy, gapping up, gapping down now. And again, lots of dojis. And for momentum, like I know Wani's going to ask, when do we short China? Like you could maybe start soonish. I'd probably wait another week just to confirm because Bank of China wants to do some new bonds, which we're not sure what the scale is. And that's mainly to bail out the real estate market, whereas this latest stimulus is more focused on the stock market. So there might be a second flap of the butterfly wings here. So uh, I would be comfortable starting shorts. I would ladder in if that makes sense. All right, let's pivot to Chinese internet tech stocks for a second with KWeb. It's a little more volatile here. And as you can see, again, lots of dojis. The TA indicates some problems here. And on balance volume is slowing, but not slowing as much as China large cap, but it's definitely going the other way. So people are taking profits and running. And let's take a look at the sector leader, which is Alibaba. Alibaba still having decent inflows, but yeah, that means if there's inflows and the price action's going down, then it's smart money unloading and taking profits, and new suckers signing up. And let's look at Chinese EVs, which is a disaster, as you guys know. And here's Li Auto, one of my favorite shorts. And again, I stopped shorts since early fall because the charts say stop, and I stopped. So, but now clearly it's coming back into favor again. So, and for momentum, you can see here, the momentum is right at the zero line. So I'd be very comfortable getting back into shorting the pants off Lee. In fact, I'm gonna make a note right here after this call. All right, let's take a look at Neil, one of our other perennial losers in the EV space. And here we can see on the 1-year chart, it's breaking right through its this is the 200-day moving average, which is beautiful. So yeah. Yeah, and we can see a very similar pattern of high inflows and crashing price action, which just again tells us that smart money is unloading into new bag holders. So yeah, lots of opportunity in the Chinese marketplace. And let's just take a snap glance into our beloved watch list, Panda Technology. And here's all of the Chinese tickers and lots of ones to pick apart. And Pinduoduo here owns the subsidiary of Temu. And that's a great ticker to short because they're having all kinds of problems with very, very high return rates. And yeah, every now and then I peek into I peek into Weibo just to see what Chinese social media kids are talking about. And oh my God, how did I miss this? Pinduoduo is trading below the zero line on a momentum count. It is officially into off-selling. So yes, shorts can definitely resume for Pinduoduo. And as you can see here, on the 1-year chart, current price action is trading below the 200-day moving average. So yeah, opportunity abounds. And if we look under the hood and looking at the put call ratio, look at that 1.725 for Pinduoduo. That's 170% plus more puts than calls. It's time, guys. It's time. All right, so lots of fun things to trade. We got earnings, we got Netflix today. We got a couple of banks, Chinese tech to short, Tesla to short, all kinds of fun stuff. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with me. Let me stop the recording. I'll upload